Hello and welcome to Mr.
and the Mrs.
So one of the great things about being married is that it opens your world to new possibilities. An example being is Jessie was in theater and is in theater, and she wanted to audition for this new company, ManeStage, shout out, whoop whoop. And so she auditioned for Sleeping Beauty, got casted, and she said how much fun she had, and I was like, oh, that sounds cool. And I kind of leaned on wanting to do it, but we both knew I couldn't sing.
Well, you could kind of carry a tune, I guess, but you were a little tone deaf in some areas. But I'd been doing theater since I was young. You know, I haven't done it with companies, but it was mostly with like my church and school. You know, yeah. So
after she did that, she auditioned for Oliver, the show afterwards, and she had a lot of fun with that. It's like, yeah, I was getting really pumped to do it, and we both, again, knew I wasn't all that great at singing. So she kind of worked out. Later on, she goes, all right, I'm going to audition for Snow White. I'm like, I really want to audition for this. She goes, all right, well, let's work on your singing. And Jessie's been singing for years, and she knows a bit, so she kind of helped me out.
Well, I tried to help out a little bit, you know. I'm not the best teacher in the world. I get a little impatient if like you
also
don't hit the note right,
and stuff. And so I was like, oh, take a break. But at the same time, you were a very good coach because you knew what to say. You could say the harshest things and say, hey, work on this, and be like, okay.
Yeah.
And so that definitely helped. So I auditioned for Snow White, and I got casted. Mm-hmm. So we were able to do a show together, which was amazing. I had a lot of fun. We then did Tarzan.
It was your first kind of dancing role in Tarzan, too.
Yeah.
Because you actually, you did a dance, didn't you?
No.
You didn't do a dance?
I didn't do a dance.
Well, you did a dance in Fiddler. So you were able to
I did a small
movement.
I did a movement in Fiddler on the Roof. I was casted as Sasha, so I actually got my first small role, which was very exciting. And so being able to be involved in what she loves, I was able to expand my horizons and be able to sing and be able to act and get into dancing and meet new friends and new people and new personalities. It was awesome.
Well, it just opened up, like, for me too. You encouraged me to do it as well because, you know, from high school to now had been like 4 or 5 years, so I was like, you know, I was pretty intimidated to even audition because, you know, I hadn't really gone through a massive audition process before, and I didn't know what to expect for the dancing because I've done dancing and I can move really well, but I took a couple classes in college, but that was pretty much it for my education.
Yeah, the funny thing is we found out that we were pregnant after Snow White, or like at the very end of Snow White, and that was when we were already casted for Tarzan, and Jessie was casted as a dancer, where there was flips and this and that, and we're going
front dive rolls.
Should we tell Brenda that
is this dangerous?
Would she pull us out?
Yeah,
there's a chance
very intimidated.
So she didn't want to be pulled out, so
I didn't tell her.
We kind of went through it, and in the end said, "Surprise, we're pregnant."
At the very end, at the class party.
Very end. Another thing that Jessie actually got into because of me, in a sense, was
in the beginning of college.
Yeah, in the beginning of college, because she was going to Green River, I was going to UW Tacoma, and there was no art classes, and I was like, well, I want to take art. And she's like, well, come to Green River. There's lots of art.
There's tons of them, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, all right,
every kind of art you can think of.
Yeah. And so we transferred, and I took a photography class, and I go, I really like this. So I got into doing photography, and so...
Well, we took one together.
Yeah, we took a film class, so we got to do the chemicals and stuff.
I kind of liked it when I was younger.
Yeah.
And then, meeting him, though, like,
I never held a camera.
Yeah, it was your first time, but you got me more into it.
Yeah, and so I was like, I want to start up a photography business, or at least start doing photography on the side, and so that's what I did. And so I did a couple photo shoots by myself, and I was like, yeah, they're okay. And Jessie's like, hey, I'm going to come to a photo shoot that we're doing of a friend. And so at that photo shoot, Jesse was like assisting and like posing them and putting, saying, all right, do this, try this angle. And so she was being like assisting me with my photos, and just that alone changed how the photos looked, because people were a little bit more comfortable. They looked better because their hair wasn't in their way. Well, you can actually check out my portfolio in the description below and kind of see maybe from the beginning when I started to currently now, and kind of.
Yeah, and one thing too is with his photography, like one of the things was when we were first married, I really didn't want to go on photo shoots with him. I'm like, I don't want to be your model. I'm tired. I don't want to, like, I was pretty adamant.
I just want to stay home.
Yeah, I was pretty adamant not wanting to do photo shoots with him, just because I had never really been comfortable with, like, photos being taken of me before, because I always thought they didn't look good. Mm-hmm. And, you know, the photos that he took of me sometimes, like, because there was no one there to fix my hair or make sure I was posed perfectly, I got really frustrated.
So because Jessie has been, I've been tagging along, or Jessie's been tagging along with me, she's been coaching me in posing properly for the models and stuff, so I'm able to get a sense of an idea of what I need to do.
It took a little while for us to kind of get used to it, I would say. Just like, we would kind of like argue back and forth or fight back and forth when someone wouldn't like what the other person liked.
Yes.
We fought a little bit on that. Like, there would be arguments and stuff like that. Well, I like this. Well, I don't like this. You know, it was hard to take a step back and realize, hey, you know, they're still their own individual person.
I picked up knitting.
Yeah, knitting and crocheting. Like, I like knitting and crocheting, but, you know,
I didn't know how, and she taught me. Mm-hmm. I don't find an interest in it, but I still attempted.
Still learned. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I attempted to do it.
Yeah. I think one advice thing I would say is that don't force the person to like what you like. No,
it's never gonna come out good. If you're forcing someone, they're gonna retaliate. Leave a comment down below to let us know maybe something that your significant other got you into, or maybe you got them into, and click subscribe down below, and we'll see you later. Bye.
Bye. Like, one of the example was the anime. I had never really gotten into anime. I didn't really, you know, I thought it was silly. I thought it was childish. And then he's like, no, honey, you haven't found the right ones. Mm-hmm. When we watched Eureka 7 together, and that one was awesome, and I loved it.
I love you.
I know you do. I love you too.